All right. Oh, what's going on, guys? I just want to tell you guys my experiences at Fan Expo Toronto. It was crazy. I think in my head initially I was thinking Comic-Con, because Comic-Con, you know, there's a lot more like the anime and the comics, so everyone's like really like dressed up. Fan Expo is more for like, you know, fans of certain shows and movies. Like they have a lot of different things. So it was pretty crazy. The cosplay. so there was a lot of Spider-Mans. Let me tell you. For some reason there was like 1,000 people rocking Spider-Man. There was Beach Spider-Man, there was Black Spider-Man, there was Black Beach Spider-Man. There was just like a bunch of different Spider-Men, and they were just down. There was female Spider-Man and Spider-Womans and a bunch of stuff. But my favorite was, there was a fat Spider-Man who kind of had his shirt like a little like this, and just like didn't care. He was taking pictures like, cause the thing is, everyone, it's not weird to ask for a picture. So you could be like,
yo, can I get a picture? And they'll be like, hell yeah, like you know.
Cause they want you to see it. They want, you know, they spent money on the outfit. So everyone is super cool at this thing. But this fat Spider-Man was like posing, and he was kind of like this, right? And then I think his wife or his girlfriend's like,
yo, extend the leg.
So he was like, fat Spider-Man was like this. I was like, man, people are really doing leg extensions out here for the sake of the photo. It was crazy. They had a cosplay, like a fashion show, where like at 2 o'clock and at 4 o'clock, they're like, yo, cosplay fashion show upstairs, red carpet, boom, boom, boom. It was cool to see, because there was like kids, you know, like cute kids rocking different costumes. There was a cool Grievous, you know, Lord of the Rings, not Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. There was people, orcs from Lord of the Rings. They're like kids at the front. And it's kind of funny because, like, you know, some people go all out, some people just kind of rock a t-shirt. But there was this one girl who was, she was wearing a Pikachu outfit. But she was like kind of scantily clad, like she was like, you know, like a little sexy Pikachu. But there's this one kid at the front, and it just reminded me of my nephew, because he loves Pokemon. So he's watching, and their kids are cheering, and then when scantily clad Pikachu came, this is the kid's reaction. And his parents is right here.
That's not Pikachu.
He was so pissed. He was like, I know I said it's not weird to take pictures of people, but I was like recording video, and in the beginning I didn't have my camera out because I was kind of nervous my first time. I didn't know what like the rules and regulations were about, like, yo, do you take pictures with people, or you know what I mean? But then after a while, like, I started seeing people like, yo, can I get a picture? He was like, yep, yep. So then I was like, yo, you know what, let me take out my camera. Took out my camera. Or we're going upstairs to the cosplay show, and we saw Green Ranger. He had like his helmet, and he was with his wife, and we're going up escalators, and the escalators, there's like 2 of them like this. So I'm like, oh man, you know what, I'm just gonna start filming. Like, I'm gonna just go in and start filming. So I start filming, and I'm like, and he's on the escalator beside us. So I'm filming, and we're both going up the stairs like this. Shh. And then he's like super awkward. He's like, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a video, you know what I mean? And I'm getting a little hype, and then he's like, and then his wife is like, pose or do something. And he was like, I know, but I'm on an escalator. It was like the most awkward thing ever. And I apologize to that guy, because he was probably like, okay, this guy's weird. Like, it wasn't even a part where like we were out in front and he was like posing, you know, he was like trying to get somewhere, and I'm like all up in his face. I'm like, you know what I mean? Man, that was so awkward. Like, pizza was like $40 for 3 pops, and a pizza was $40. Kristen Cruick didn't show up. I was pissed. Patrick Stewart was there. Steven Seagal was there. I wanted to get an autograph, or I wanted to get a picture or a video of him snapping my neck. You know what I mean? Snap my neck. There was just a lot. There's a lot of dudes with their shirts off, like just very comfortable, that weren't jacked. That were just like, you know what I mean, like kind of like this. That was like kind of surprising. Yeah, so they had like gaming. They had like the new like Gears of War 5. You could play NHL 20. Is it 20 or 21? The new NHL. So they have a whole gaming section. They had rooms, like conference rooms, where people could play board games. So there's a lot of booths and like a lot of art, and it's like a lot of different artists, but kind of the same stuff, you know, like Captain Marvel, Iron Man, you know, anime, cartoons, famous people in shows, the White Walkers, whatever. And it's cool to see because there are different styles to these. There's a guy in the back, I think his name is Beto, because I love hip hop. He had like a bunch of cool hip hop artwork, and it made into a comic. So he had Nas, and it said Illmatic, and he had a mic, but it was like cartoon, and you know, Biggie and Tupac. He had a Mobb Deep one. He had one where Vince Carter, and it said Elevate. And there wasn't a lot of people there, and he was kind of in the back, and it's like where there wasn't much traffic as opposed to like the big places. But I really loved his artwork, and I was like, yo, this is dope. And I told him, I was like, yo, this is really cool. He gave me like a card. Yeah, it was just so cool to see someone who had like that type of art that I really enjoyed, and I was like, oh, this is dope. So I'm gonna link his stuff down below or whatever, and then if you guys want to check it out, you know, give him a follow. What else? Lemonade was $6. Whack. $6 for a small lemonade. Are you kidding me? Sean Astin was there. Rudy, also in Stranger Things. Also in Lord of the Rings. Stranger Things, Lord of the Rings. I just keep thinking about Fat Spider-Man. There were swords that you buy and like axes and like things from like Game of Thrones, you know what I mean? But there was this one dude, this big dude. So there's like a bunch of swords, and this big dude goes, "Can I see that sword?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, you know what I mean," playing. And you know what he did? He got the sword, and then this is what he did. And it was so loud. It was so loud that everyone was like, "Yo, guy." We were so shook. And the funny thing is, like, after he did that, like, everyone was like, and everyone was just like looking at him like, "What were we doing?" Okay, so there was just like all different types of people. It was amazing to see. I recommend you guys going to this. But yo, Fan Expo Toronto, my first time, was hype. Shout out to my boy Jan for inviting me to go. But yo, it was so funny. Fat Spider-Man, Pikachu Kid, Awkward Green Ranger. Thank you guys for tuning in. Is that story time?
Video.